Hey guys, today we have a Whirlpool washing machine that makes a lot of noise when it's running, but it doesn't agitate, it doesn't spin, and you can just hear the motor running all the time though. So we're going to unplug it and we're going to replace the motor coupler. There's a link in the description below. It's a part that breaks when the washing machine is overloaded, like if you put in something really heavy or too much clothing. And please subscribe when you get a chance too. It really helps our channel. So we're going to take off this trim piece, which exposes a Phillips head screw, kind of a long screw, about 1.5 inches. We're going to zip that out on the right side. We'll do the same on the left side. We'll pry back on the trim piece. We'll take out that Phillips head screw on the left. And it's good to pull the washing machine out away from the wall by about maybe a full foot, so we have room to lift up this console and then hinge it back so it won't fall forward. So we're going to remove 2 brass clips and also this little modular connector for the lid switch. We're going to press in and lift up, and then these brass clips just pop off using a flathead screwdriver. So you just kind of leverage them off. There's the right one, and then here's the left one. Get that off. And now we can grab this whole case, this cabinet, pull it back at an angle and lift it off. And that's going to give you access to many of the important parts on this washing machine. This, by the way, is one of the best washing machines you could ever find. They're called a Series 70, 80, or 90 Whirlpool washing machine. So now I'm taking off the modular connector for the motor, and then I'm going to pull off 2 plastic connectors, and then I'll take off the water pump by prying back on these 2 spring clips with my flat blade screwdriver. And once I have those off, I can kind of wiggle this water pump off. It's connected to the motor, so I've got to get this thing off before I can get the motor off. And if I get the motor off, then I can get to the motor coupler. It's not too difficult. So we got that out of the way, and then there's this little bottom clip, get it out of the way. I'm pulling off with my needle nose pliers these 2 connectors that go on the capacitor, the motor capacitor. I got those off, pull them out of the way. And now I'm going to disconnect this little modular connector here. I'm going to press in and just pull these 2 apart. And that's just to disconnect all the things that are connected to the motor, because again, we have to take the motor off. This machine's very modular, so everything comes apart pretty easily. A lot of people are finding these machines last 20 to 25 years, so they're really well made. They don't make them anymore, but if you can find a used one, it'll still last a long time. So I'm going to use this 1/4 inch drive to zip out this upper screw, and I'll do the same on the bottom. This is the water pump. We got that out of the way. So the 1/4 inch screw at the bottom. There we go. I've already removed this electrical connector and the 2 connectors for the capacitor, and we removed the modular connector for the motor. Now we're going to use a standard head screwdriver. We're going to remove this bracket and this bracket, and then the motor can come out. Here's the bottom one. You're going to want to kind of support it when you remove the top one. There we go, this top one. And then you can grab the motor, kind of wiggle it towards you. There we go. And the reason that it wasn't spinning is this thing, which is called the motor coupler, was cracked right there. So the motor shaft here was trying to spin the transmission shaft, but it wasn't moving it because this had cracked. It was just spinning. So this usually occurs due to overloading the washing machine with either too many items or real heavy items, and this thing will break rather than destroying the motor. So we're just going to put a new one in. The new ones are actually built a little bit better. They're a little bit more robust.
So you may need to use a standard head screwdriver to pry off either the one that's connected to the motor shaft or to the transmission shaft. Just kind of wiggle underneath, get that one out. If it's stuck on the transmission shaft, and it's kind of hard to get off, like in this case, we're just going to put this back on for fun. What you can do is use a standard head screwdriver, come in behind this plate. So I can show you guys. Come in from underneath. You can see that screwdriver, and then that can give you some leverage to work it loose. Okay, so we're going to put on the new one. The new one has a metal insert rather than plastic, so it's going to last longer than just the plastic. So it's pretty cool. It's an improvement. This rubber piece just helps take the shock, so the plastic pieces are less likely to break. We'll put one on the motor shaft, and it only fits one way because there's a flat part of the coupler and a flat part on the motor shaft. And usually you got to tap it on a little bit because it won't go on far enough by itself. And I usually use something like a socket. Put that on the metal. Just tap it. Now it's the shaft end and the motor coupler are on the same plane. So that looks good. We'll do the same thing for the one on the transmission shaft. There's the transmission shaft. Let's put the guy back on. So it's on there, but I got to knock it down about another 1/8 of an inch. So I'll take my socket with the extension, tap it on there. A little bit further. There we go. I'm going to put on the motor cup, or I'm going to put on the rubber coupler. Put that, and I'm going to get this 3-prong thing. I'll get this at the 12 o'clock position, the center at the 12 o'clock position. Put on that rubber piece. And then on the motor, so instead of having this at 12 o'clock, I'm going to put that pin down at 6 o'clock as the top of the motor. And these two will fit in right there, and that one will fit in down there. So this part, just take your time. I'm going to make sure these rubber cushions are in position. There's 4 of them. So we got 4 of them in position on the transmission plate. These pins on the motor will go into that. These pins will go into the motor coupler. Just take your time, and as you're putting these in, if they're not aligned right, you can grab from underneath here, see my finger, and you can move it to line it up. Alright. I'm going to put this bracket in. Goes in and then turns. And with the motor in position, motor's kind of heavy. Bottom one's already ready. Top one's here. Just take your time on this part. Get this at the 6 o'clock. Let's try it again. Change my position so I can see a little bit better. See if I can get these prongs to line up. These guys fell out. There we go. Okay. So I can see a little take this one, stick it back in there. Twist it, there we go. I'm gonna see if I can push it down, hold the motor. That's it. Put the bottom one in, push it up. There we go. So the bottom one, I pushed it up, that one pushed down. Motor's locked in. Wrench drive. What made it easier is getting my head over in this area. I could see the forks going in there. Doing it blind is just going to take you too long. Alright, so we got our couplers in there. And we're going to put the motor connections back. So we have the capacitor. Has two connectors. Make sure you don't touch the capacitor with your fingers because it can hold a pretty heavy charge. And got those two back on. And then we have a thermal connector here. If it overheats, put that back on. In modular motor controller connection clicks in. This Whirlpool Series 80 is great. Everything is so modular. So this shaft has two flat ends. It's got to line up with this water pump. It's pretty good. So we're going to get that back over the shaft. Got it. We're going to push it in, so these little plastic things will go into the metal, and there's two clips that hold this on. Here's the bottom one. Clicks in. And we're going to slide this clip up over. Same thing, goes in, and we twist it. Locks it, and then top one. Here we got the clips on, so got all the electrical connectors back, got the motor mount, it's back, got the new motor coupler. Now we're going to put the case back on and we'll give it a test. And what we do, put the case back on, so we line it up at an angle like this, about 25 degrees. The bottom go in. Tilt this back. Just to settle down again. Go. And next thing we're going to do is put on these little clips. Now one end of it, that like kind of a upward end, goes in a little slot right there on the back. Lift this up. You pull it in. You push down, it'll lock. Super cool. Same thing on this side. So pull that in close. Closer. Okay. Click that underneath. We're going to push down until it clicks. Got it. We're going to put this connector back. This is for the lid switch. Locks all the way down. Here's the little parts list and schematic if you ever need it. This is the pressure, water pressure switch. It's a timer. and see if it works. So we're going to make these little dog ears fit into these holes on both sides, and we'll push it in a little bit, and we'll put those two Phillips head screws back. Good washing machines, they last a long time. They use a lot of water, but for durability, they're great. They don't do well though. Pretty much all washing machines for residential do not do well with heavy things like bathroom mats and blankets. That's what destroys these motor couplers. Just gonna push this back a little bit. Put in the trim piece. Should be 2 trim pieces. This one was missing one, but these little pins just go right in there. And when you take it off, just pull it towards you. Clicks in, plug it back in, test it out. So one way you can test it for a motor coupler, set it for spin, have something you can push in on the lid switch. So I'm going to pull it out to start it, push in, and there is spin. So now the motor is connected back to the transmission again, and it behaves normally. Pretty good. So we have a washing machine working great again. Just needed to have that one part repaired. Thanks so much for watching.
So our bonus material today is for the same machine. If it will not spin or drain and you don't hear any kind of sound, you probably have a broken lid switch, and you can fix it by pulling 2 Phillips head screws here, as we see in the picture, pulling the switch out and then wrapping it with a couple of zip ties to hold the broken case together. So put one zip tie on the left and one on the right next to these rounded areas, and then tighten them up and then put it back together, and it'll work great. It'll last even longer than the original.
Watching our video, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance, and also click the little bell notification button so we can send you weekly videos on all the different ways of fixing appliances around your home and saving you lots of money. So thanks again for watching, and please also press the like button for our video if this was helpful to you.
Feel free to contact me at the email listed below, which is scottthefixitguy@yahoo.com, with any of your questions.